Hello, two-star diamonds. As always, amazing to see your beautiful and handsome face, especially you, Tom, since you're my boy in this group. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into our call topic today. Kelli France is actually from Utah. So she's close to where we are here in the Provo, Utah office. Whoop, whoop. She's a mommy of 4. Yes, I said that, a mommy of 4.
Yep.
With that, she is married, obviously, to her husband, Matt. She actually has a big passion for photography and has that business on the side, hence why she is probably so amazing, or just has a passion for photography.
I quit.
She quit. Well, she has a big passion for photography, which actually has probably made her so successful when it comes to Instagram. So I'm going to go ahead and have you go ahead and talk about you, tell us your story, and tell us why Instagram is your jam.
Okay. Do you want me to share my screen? Or can I share my screen?
Yeah. Go.
Okay. Let me find it. Here we go. Okay. So tell me if you guys can see. Can you see it where it says make Instagram your jam?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. So my name is Kelli France. I've been coaching for a little. I started last end of July of 2014. And it's a funny story. My husband actually, we were struggling financially, and my husband actually was looking for a job. And so I'm like, you should look into coaching. So he decided to do it. And then I started posting about the challenge pack. I decided to become a coach just to get him to Emerald. So then I posted about PIO, and all these people were like, what is this? I want to do it. And then I'm like, well, I might as well make money. So that's kind of how I got into it. But I used to be a photographer, and I recently quit just to pursue Beachbody full time, or not full time, but be fully focused on it. I work part time since I have 4 kids, and so I kind of was working Instagram before with my photography business. And then it just jumped right in with Beachbody. So my Instagram name, if you want to follow me, is Kelli France _fit fashionista. And I actually started out, when I started as a health coach, I was like, do I keep my personal account? Do I make like a fitness account? So I actually did create a fitness account called Fit Fashionista. But I had a stronger following and more interaction with just my own account. So then I just added Fit Fashionista on the end of my name. So I have a couple accounts, but this is the one I post on actually, and I stopped posting on the other one. But I love Instagram. Like I get a lot of coaches from Instagram. I get a lot of clients from Instagram. I feel like you can be more focused on Instagram because you kind of, I feel like having a niche on Instagram is how you be successful on Instagram. And having, on Facebook, you kind of, people expect you to talk about your family and things like that. But on Instagram, like I could just talk all about or all about fitness and fashion. And people kind of expect that because that's part of my name. It's part of my profile. So that's one of the reasons I like it. And the other reason is, I'm a visual person. I'm a photographer. So I just love to instead of coming up with something clever, like like with Twitter and stuff, it was all words. Facebook, you can do words and pictures. I just love that I could share my life through pictures. And so that's why I love it. But I wanted to share a couple things about Instagram that are interesting. Forbes magazine said that Instagram is the world's most powerful selling tool right now. And I agree with that. I mean, raise your hand if you've ever bought anything from Instagram, like off of Instagram. I know I've bought like purses off Instagram. I bought shirts, In fact, I actually connected with my first coach from Instagram. And then my second, I had 2 coaches. It's a long story. My second coach actually interacted with me a lot through Instagram. And I was like, oh my gosh, you are amazing. I was like, she's so nice. And when she invited my husband to the sneak peek into a sneak peek into coaching event page, I was like, oh, she's nice because she comments on my Instagram posts. So that can show you the power of commenting on Instagram. Because I remember her comment was, I love personal development and I've been reading it even before coaching. And so I remember I shared about The Go-Giver, and she was like, did you know there's a sequel to that book? And I was like, no. So she added value and she commented. And that's why I felt like I could trust her. And that's how we kind of got into the coaching thing. So, and I think it's easy. Like I always start my posts in Instagram, and then you can do two birds with one stone. Like you can post it to Instagram and then straight to Facebook. Or I've heard that you get more views on Facebook if it's organic, but I always start my post in Instagram, copy and paste it, and then post it on Facebook. But my upline coach actually found her coach. My upline coach is Mike Folsom, and she's one of the top 10 coaches this year. And she found her coach from a hashtag. She said she's looking in the Les Mills Combat hashtag, and she saw an ad picture of her coach, and that's how she found her. So can you see like how powerful this is? Like my upline and me, and and then my coaches below me have all come about from Instagram. So it really is a powerful tool, and if you're not using it, I highly recommend that you do. So let's talk about who you're talking about, because I think that's really, really important. In fact, I have a mentor who I was talking to, and she was like, you are all over the place. You need to focus not so much on what you're posting about, but who you're posting to. Like, whose problems do you want to solve? And you have to get really specific with this. And so I made a list, like a big old long list of my ideal coach and customer. And, they might be a little bit different, because sometimes your customers, your clients, might have different problems than your ideal coach. Like my ideal coach is like a go-getter and a girl boss, right? But my ideal client probably needs a little bit of hand-holding, which is why they need the accountability group. They need a coach and that kind of thing. Whereas I don't necessarily want that in a coach, right? So make a list of your ideal coach. I won't bust mine out, but I literally have like 30 things of what I'm looking for in a coach, or in a coach or a customer. And so, my customer, they shop at Target. I get really specific, like they love Napoleon Dynamite. Like they have that kind of sense of humor that I do. They're fun. They like to go on trips. They love girls' night outs. They, have a sense of humor. They try to be positive. They're moms, generally moms of like 2, 3, or 4 kids. And so you can see how I'm obviously going to post to that type of person. It makes it a lot easier when you're posting, because you know exactly who you're talking to. So you don't feel weird. You don't feel salesy, because you have that ideal person in your mind. And I think it really helps if you list 5 people that you're talking to specifically. So not only do I have my ideal coach or customer, but I actually have people in mind, because I think that makes it a little more tangible than this dream coach or dream client. When you're thinking would Jacqueline like this post, or would Carrie like this post? So those are some of the people I think of when I'm posting. And that makes it a little bit more, it just helps you really focus on making your posts more effective, so that you're talking to people and you're trying to solve those specific people's problems. And I think it's really important that you use girlfriend slang, is what I call it. Kind of like when you're texting a girlfriend or a guy friend. For me, when I'm texting my girlfriend, I'm going to be like, "Faux show," I have my own little slang that I text them, right? So that's what I use when I'm talking to a coach or when I'm talking to my audience. Hang on, I have a little helper. Mommy. Sorry, pause.
Can we open smoothie? The smoothie?
We'll have glass in it.
Okay, that was adorable.
Sorry. Okay. Real life, right? So what would you say if you were texting a friend? Like you wouldn't be as personal. I mean, you wouldn't be as like professional. You know, I used to do this when I started blogging years ago. I used to feel like I have to be so professional with my photography blog. And then I started getting real, you know, and just being like, so this is me, this is, you know, just using that girlfriend slang. And I feel like people can relate to you more. So when you're putting together a post, like maybe you're excited that you just got P90X in the mail. What would you text your friend to say that you just got a prize? Be like, sweet, I just got this prize, like check it out, you know? So that's gonna help you kind of focus too. Another thing that helps me is I have, you know, in my feed when I'm looking at people that I'm following, there's people that I would like to be on my team. And so I will subscribe to their posts. You have to follow them to subscribe their posts, but you just click on, there's like 3 dots in the right, and you just click on that and you can subscribe to their posts. So you'll get notifications every time they post, and you can be like their little cheerleader and commenting on their posts. And if they're someone that you want to be on your team, or if they're a client that you're kind of targeting. So that's another way to kind of target specific people. I love that about Instagram. All right, so let's talk about, I numbered these wrong. Anyway, let's talk about how to start an Instagram. I'm just going to assume, I mean, some of you guys might be Instagram gurus, but some of you guys maybe are not even on Instagram. So I'm going to tell you how to start an Instagram if you never have. And this is what I tell my new coaches too. So I recommend that you create a fitness name. And so for my new coaches, if they are having a hard time coming with like a clever fitness name, I think it's effective just to say Amy's fitness journey or Sarah's fitness journey, you know, because I think that's something that people would be intrigued by. Like, what is she doing? What is this new fitness journey that Amy's doing? So that's an idea for a fitness name. And you can use just your own name. I mean, there's a lot of top coaches like Melanie Mitchell, Lindsay Matway. They don't have a fitness name. So that's an option too. But I think it helps when you do have a fitness name, because when you're liking people's pictures and commenting, they're like, oh, what is this fitness girl? You know? So that's why I added it to the end of my name. I also think it helps too to have like a hashtag. Before I switched over to Kelli France Fit Fashionista, it was just Kelli France. And so then I created a hashtag for every time I did a fitness post. So it said, I would do like a fitness post and then I'd say hashtag Kelli France Fitness. Or I'd do a fashion post and I'd say hashtag Kelli France Fashion. And that way people can find all my fitness or fashion posts in one place. And that's helped too, because it's like you'll do a post and then they kind of hit your hashtag and kind of start stalking and scrolling, checking out your other past posts as well. Okay, so anyways, how to start. So you're going to create your name. And then I recommend you follow all the contacts on your Facebook and in your phone. Like when you start an account, it will tell you, do you want to follow all the contacts on Facebook? You click all of them. Okay, and then you're going to follow all the contacts that are saved in your phone as well. So if you have like 500 Facebook friends or 100 contacts on your phone, you start following all of them, they're going to see that Amy's fitness journey is now following them, and that you'll likely get a lot of followers back right when you start. So I've had new coaches start and get like 100 to 200 followers just from that starting point. And I'm not sure if you can do that. You guys will have to tell me. I'm not sure if you can do that at this point, but that might be something you want to look into doing if you've never done that before. The next thing is to add a profile picture and a description about what you do. I think it's important. I think it's important not to say that you're a beach body coach, but maybe like a fitness coach or a health coach or a weight loss coach. I call myself a get your sexy back coach, because I do fitness stuff too, or fashion stuff too. But something that kind of describes what you do, and maybe even add your email in there so that people can contact you. And then definitely add a link. So in your profile. And sometimes I change the link based on what I'm currently promoting. So like if I'm doing a sneak peek into coaching, and I say like fill out my coach application, my like coach intern application, then I'll say link in bio, and I'll add it to my bio so that they can click on that right there. Because people, the easier you make it, the better. And then options in Instagram, you can direct message people, and I have before, but it's not my favorite place to direct message people. I feel like people don't interact as well on Instagram Messenger. Some people don't even know that you've messaged them. So I like to try to drive them to my Facebook, personal Facebook, by saying like, what's your Facebook name? But I know coaches who have, and you can even send videos via Instagram message. I think it only can be 15 seconds, but that's an idea. But I have done it. I do a lot where I'm like, comment below with your Facebook name. And then I add, that's how I build my Facebook audience as well. So let's talk about what to post, because I think that's the tricky part, right? Like starting an Instagram is easy, but maintaining one, that's another story. And, but I want you to think about it as kind of like your reality show. So with occasional commercials promoting your next group, right? So you want to be talking about your personal life, because people can't relate to only fitness or only, health stuff. So I think it's good to sprinkle in, personal things as well. But the good thing about Instagram is that you can kind of have that specialty and talk a little bit more. I'll talk a lot more about fitness and fashion on Instagram than I ever do on Facebook, just because I don't feel like I'm spamming people, because they come to me for that stuff on Facebook or Instagram. So here's some tips that I've learned I've been doing Instagram for like 4 years. I mean, when it was brand new, I started an account and just was obsessed right from the start. So I've been doing it for a long time. Here's some of the things I've learned along the way. One is that it helps to do like photo shoots for later use. So sometimes my sweaty selfies are like scary. Like they are, I look homeless. I don't really like to post like a raw sweaty selfie. So sometimes I will stage sweaty selfies. And then after I do workout, I'll be like, here's my sweaty selfie. Does that make sense? Even if I'm like, oh, like here's a fun recipe or like a fun meal I made, I'll take a bunch of pictures of it. And I do a bunch. Like I'm not just saying like 3. I'll do like 10 of a piece of chicken, right? And then I'll pick the best one and edit it and save it for later. So I'm constantly thinking of content to use for later, because you don't have to do it in real time on Instagram or even Facebook. I mean, that's the beauty, is that you can plan it out in advance, which is what I do, and it's been really helping me. Another thing that really helps is to use themes. Like, so Monday, I do Motivation Monday, and I'll do Makeup Monday. Like Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday. You can do like Wednesday, I do Wardrobe Wednesday, or you could do Weight Loss Wednesday. I mean, there's so many different ideas that you could do. Thankful Thursday, Food Friday, post a recipe then, or Fitness Friday, post a fitness video. But it has helped me to have those kind of themed days because we all have times where we're like, okay, what am I going to post? I have no ideas right now. So that kind of gives me some ideas of like, okay, well, today's Tuesday, so I got to do my Transformation Tuesday. And then I plan it out. I try to every Sunday, in the notes section of my phone, I'll write down just really simple, what am I going to post on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to kind of spread it out, because I don't want to have like all fitness posts, or I want to spread out the love so that it's not annoying. And like the promotions and different things that I'm going to talk about, I want to make sure that I'm spreading it out in an appropriate way. So that has really helped me. So be thinking, do you know what you're going to be posting tonight? Because I do. So be thinking like what you're going to be posting at least 24 hours in advance, if not for the upcoming week, because that makes your life a lot easier. And of course I rearrange it according to my life, because there are fun things that happen during the day that I'm like, oh, posting this instead. But That's really helped me. And one way I do that is with the Latergram app. It's this app where you can like do a kind of a scheduled post, and then it will do a notification at a certain time, whatever time you choose, and say your post is ready to be posted. It won't post for you, but it will just remind you to do that post. So that's kind of nice. I actually have several posts already in there. You can also save like future post ideas to a Dropbox app on your phone. And that's really helped me. Like I've done that, or I've done like a private Pinterest board with content for future posts. So that way you're never running out of content. Let's see. And then if you need ideas, follow some of the top coaches just to get some ideas. Sometimes they'll post something and it'll spark a totally different idea. I'm not saying to copy them, but if you're lacking ideas, get some ideas of how they're doing it and then make it your own. But the key is to make you are the brand, is to make you part of it. So my success partner, I'm always teasing her. I'm like, I want to see more selfies, because she's a photographer too. She loves to do like detail shots and stuff like that. But I'm like, I want to see your pretty face, because people connect to faces, right? So unfortunately, that means we have to do, I would say, a selfie at least every like 48 hours so that people can see the person behind the voice, behind the picture. So show your before and after. Abs work really well. Whenever I post ab pictures, I usually get like a message from someone, or biceps, or you in a swimsuit. Or if you're not comfortable with that, like show before and afters of your face and how it's changed, or your skin improvement. I mean, anything and there's so many ways to talk about Beachbody. Like you can show different Shakeology recipes and your kids drinking it. And anyways, there are so many ways to share about, coaching and your lifestyle without being spammy. So I recommend doing at least one health or fitness post for every 3 to 5 regular posts. When to post. So I do on Instagram, I post about 2 to 3 times a day. And I have like a schedule in my head where I post around 8 in the morning, and then at noon, and then around 8 at night. And that works really well for me and for my audience. Most of them are moms. So I feel like that's a good time for them. But I say spread it out, because I think on Instagram, if you post too many in a row, people will unfollow you because they're like, oh, this girl again, So you kind of want to spread it out between 5 to, maybe 5 hours or whatever. So let's talk about how to build your Instagram audience. I once heard this analogy that if you don't have an audience, it's kind of like having a McDonald's in the middle of a desert. Like you have no one to talk to. You might have the most amazing hamburgers, most have the most amazing content ever, but if you don't have an audience, like it's not going to go very far. So that's why it's so important that we build our audience. And it's a little trickier on Instagram because you can't just add a friend like we do on Facebook. So that's why I recommend using hashtags. With every post, you can use up to 30 hashtags. And so I don't do it I do it in the first comment, because usually the first comment will get buried if you have a couple people interacting with you. So it doesn't look spammy. And, but that way your post can be seen, and that's 30 opportunities for someone to find you. So, I would say one way to do it is to keep a notes page of hashtags, that, of your target market. Like if you're targeting moms, then maybe you want to have hashtags for like target style, or mom style, or Pampers, or whatever, anything that's going to target your audience. And I kind of try to mix them up. I don't use the same hashtags every time, because I try to be seen. And I don't use hashtags that are really popular. I try to use kind of unique ones, because if they're really popular, they're just going to get bumped down very quickly. So if you do a hashtag Beachbody, like everyone uses the hashtag. So it's going to be seen in that hashtag feed for like 5 seconds before it gets bumped down by all the other people using that hashtag. And then the other thing that's helped me build my audience is by doing giveaways. So I'll team up with other fashion bloggers or other, we used to do a team meeting where we did an Instagram loop giveaway, and we would all get on a Zoom call just like this. And everyone would contribute like $10, and we give away like a Fitbit or a Polar watch or something like that. And that worked well. I think it's good to just make sure that whoever you collaborate with is, has your target audience in mind. So giveaways is a great way to do, like the loop giveaways is a great way to build your audience. And I've gotten several coaches that have come from loop giveaways, so that's kind of cool. There is an app called Instagress it's not an app, I'm sorry. It is like a software that you can use called Instagress that kind of automates. It will go in and like and comment for you. However, I don't recommend you use the comments because it is going to, when I first started, I was like, okay, I'm going to try this because Anita Myron talked about this in a YouTube video. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to try it. So I used it, and it started commenting, and people would be like, sometimes the comments weren't appropriate to that post. And so the people would be like, really? Like, you love this? And I just talked about how my dog died. You know what I mean? So if you're going to use Instagress, I recommend that you only I wrote comment here, but that you only like the people within the hashtags that you choose. And make sure that you turn it off when you're actually posting. Another tip that has worked for some of my coaches is, one of my coaches, she goes through and she comments on, she calls it 5, 3, and 1. So she'll comment on she'll like one person's post, then comment on 3 of their posts, and then follow them. So this is for one person, you do the 5, 3, and 1. So, and she make the comments genuine instead of like cute or love this, make it like a little more specific to that post. And but that works really well to get people to follow you back, especially if they have a small number of followers. Like if they only have 100 followers and suddenly you're paying attention to them, they're going to pay attention to you. And then finally, you can also hire someone from Odesk or Elance to do like the 5, 3, and 1 thing for you for, maybe $5 an hour, whatever. I haven't done this before, but I know several Instagrammers that do. So that's an option as well. And then finally, I'm going to share just some of my favorite Instagram apps. Like I mentioned before, there's Latergram that kind of helps you schedule your posts. WordSwag is just a great app for adding text over your images. I really try not to, it depends on your personality. I know lots of coaches that do awesome with tons of text over their images. I don't like that aesthetic because I'm a photographer and I just want it to be pretty pictures. So I don't add a ton of words, but I do want the picture to be scroll stopping. So sometimes I will. And I really like the fonts in WordSwag. For editing, there's the Afterlight app. I don't use that one, but my success partner does. And then I use PicTapGo for editing, which is really nice. If you're wanting to make videos, Pick Post Play is a sweet app. It makes like those videos where it has a series of like 3 videos and they're all kind of playing at the same time. That one's really cool. Frametastic is nice for like doing different collages. And so is Instagram just came up with a new app called Layouts that I love too. In Stats, I don't know. I can't remember what that one does. And then Time Hop is a good one to have as a coach because it shows you like your life a year ago. So you can see your own progress, and that's great for like Transformation Tuesdays. And then finally, InstaTrack. That one's really cool because you can actually kind of do some market research on your Instagram posts and see which one are your most popular posts. So I noticed on mine, I got a lot of interaction with my Sunday style posts where I show my outfit on Sunday, which is what I wear to church. So that'll help you know what to keep doing, what's working, what's not. So you can kind of track that, see which ones are getting the most likes and the most comments on. So that's kind of my thoughts on Instagram in a nutshell. And I just love it. I think it's such an effective tool for coaching. So hopefully that helps you guys. And I'd love to hear like what works for you guys too, and any questions as well.
Awesome. Do you want to take off the screen share and we can see if anybody has any questions?
Yes, let me.
A lot of comments are going in the chat section.
Okay, hang on. I can't figure out. Just give me a second.
Stop screen share, maybe?
Yeah, stop share.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. Any questions or thoughts? Kendra?
I have a question on the how you do your giveaway. I didn't quite follow that part.
Okay. So what you do is you have them, like, there's like 3 steps, and you have them like, I probably should just post this in the group, like the actual wording of what I use, but you kind of you'll have them follow the next person in line. So let's say you have you and maybe 5 other coaches doing this giveaway. So they have to like your post and then follow the person that you tag in the comments. So let's say you tag your coach, Amy's Fitness Journey. So they'll go to her Instagram feed, they'll like it, they'll follow her, and then they'll go to the next one that she tags. And so that's how it becomes a loop. And that's how they get entered to win the prize that you posted about. Does that make sense? So I can share, remind me to share the wording that I use for those. Anyone else? It was that good, huh?
Helpful. It was super helpful. I just kind of started using Instagram because I used it like a year ago and I did not understand it. I still don't really, but I started using it a couple of weeks ago, like more seriously. So this helps a lot.
Yeah. I don't think it's like, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't get Instagram. And I'm like, it's just pictures. Like it's just like Facebook, but with pictures, So I think it's very simple,
How do you get your conversation out of Instagram and into something more personal? Are you using emails? Like you direct them right to your email address, or are you directing them to call on the phone or text or go to Facebook?
I tell them to go to Facebook. Like, I think you have to test to see what works well for your audience, but my audience, like I've tried to send them to email, and I hardly ever convert anyone from email to become a client or coach. I don't know what it is about emails, but that's just been my situation. So I try to get them to follow me on Facebook, or I ask them what their Facebook name is, and then if I can't find their Facebook name, then I'll say, you follow me. My name is Kelli Thornock France on Facebook. So I'm always trying to kind of get them to Facebook. And so it's kind of cool because like I just did in June, I did a 5 days of 5 a.m. free group. And I had people, I was just like, comment below with your Facebook name if you want me to add you to this group. And so I had I had a girl do that. And then I have to go through, it's kind of a pain because you got to go through and copy and paste their name and put it in Facebook and find them. But that's a great way to build your Facebook audience. And I just had a coach sign up that told me that's how she found me, was from that 5 a.m. group, like from me adding her to Facebook from that group. So it's a great way to just kind of get people to your Facebook page, and that way they're seeing both. They're seeing your Instagram posts, they're seeing your Facebook posts, and connecting with you that way.
Do you have a like page or a regular page on Facebook, or both?
I have a like page, but I hardly ever use it. I'm trying to make it work, but it's not my most favorite thing. I know it works for some people really well, but I think everyone has their things. So yeah, that one's not my jam right now, but maybe next year. Maybe we'll try that one next year. And one thing Shalene Johnson said, I thought this was a really good tip, was she said on Instagram to always try to be the last person that comments. So that way you're making sure you're interacting with people. So if they're commenting and saying, oh my gosh, I love this or whatever, then you make sure you're commenting back and saying, me too, it's so fun or whatever. So I thought that was a good tip.
You have to add all of them. Like, let's say there's a whole string of comments. Can you just comment, or do you have to kind of tag them all?
Yeah, you have to tag them for them to see that you're talking. I just try to kind of comment individually to some people. I don't comment to everyone, and sometimes you can just tag them all and be like, thanks so much, But I always know that I like it when people tag me and even just say thanks. I'm like, oh, she noticed.
I wish there was a like button on that one.
Right, yeah. Anyone else?
I have another one. How about the idea of I've heard that you should have a lot more followers than how many people you are following.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder about the etiquette as far as that goes. A lot of times there's kind of somebody follows you, you follow them back, or vice versa. And then do you have a way that you manage the people that you're following? Do you go in and clear out the people you're following, or?
You can't, with that InstaTrack app, you can actually go in and unfollow everyone that's not following you. And you have to be careful with that app because it will show you who's not following you and you might get ticked off. But but that's kind of nice if you want to just, kind of weed out anyone that you're following that's not following you. I used to follow everyone that followed me, but now I just kind of, if I see their profile picture and they look like kind of my target audience, then I will look at their feed and their profile and see if they're, because sometimes you'll click on their feed and they're not your kind of girl. So you have to, that's what I'll do. And then I'll follow them if I think and then I'll turn on notifications and subscribe to them so that I can continue to build a relationship and comment on them. Any other questions?
Can I just add something to it, Kelli?
Yeah.
This is a great way, when you're getting your coaches started, this is a great way to get them started to eventually start tapping into their cold market, because Instagram is something that it takes a while to build, just like a blog. But when you're consistent with it, this is a way for then your coaches, once their warm market kind of goes a little more scarce, that they can then tap into their colder market, which is going to be obviously Instagram.
Yeah, amen.
That do that, and even if they have never used Instagram or whatever it is, it's super easy, so much more fun to look at, obviously, but just a great opportunity to kind of tap into two markets there.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the opposite. I actually don't like to work with people that I know, like family or really good friends. I'd rather work with a stranger and help them out. You know what I mean? There's a little less risk, they
believe in you 100%.
Or they don't hate you forever if they don't get results or whatever.
There you go. That was awesome. Okay, coaches, are you ready to make Instagram your jam? Love it. Love it, love it. Kelli, was there anything else you wanted to add, sweetie?
I think that was it.
You did awesome. Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you, coaches, for jumping on.
Wait, I have one more question.
Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah.
Does it work well to change names in the middle, like if you're already somewhat established? I've been trying to decide whether to, right now I'm just Shannon Grella, just my name. But my website, Succeed with Shannon, I think when I do a like page, I'm probably going to do Succeed with Shannon. And I've been wondering whether to change my Instagram to Succeed with Shannon, but I don't know if it's weird to do it when you've already.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's funny because I think we overanalyze but my people will hate me if I change my name or they will stop following. But people look at your stuff for 2 seconds and then they move on. So, they'll be like, oh, Succeed with Shannon. Oh, that's that same girl. Cool. I don't think they'll think about it that much. But I do like that name more because they'll be like, succeed with what, you know? That's why I kind of like having a name that has a fitness theme or, you know, health, whatever, because they kind of know what they're going to get with you, or they're intrigued by that name and they want to follow you, you know, because they're like, what is this succeed with Shannon? You know, when you like their posts, it won't just be like, oh, this random Shannon girl. It'll be like, succeed with Shannon. What does she do? What's succeed? You know, kind of intriguing.
Okay. I just have to remember who all has my links. That's the thing too. When you have your people are following you that where you've left it in other places, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
For all my groups that I've done, I've always because I post a lot of my clean eating, Instagram's kind of been where I post my food. So I'm always like, here, just go look at my Instagram account. It's almost all paleo, 21-day fix friendly, you know. And so I have a lot of links there, but I guess people will figure it out or if they've already followed me.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, one thing I did was when I did switch, or when I stopped using my Fit Fashionista name, I just did a post on that Instagram that said, I've moved. My new account is Kelly France Fit Fashionista. Check it out there. So that way, if anyone finds me at the other one, they know to just go follow me at this one. And another thing I've done, because just in case I ever want to change my mind, is I reserved an account that just says Kelly France so that no one else will steal my name in case I ever want to go back to just Kelly France. So you can like create several Instagram accounts and like reserve names, you know, or redirect traffic somewhere else with that.
I have a question about that, Kelly. Did you keep Fit Fashionista as well?
It exists. I haven't deleted it because I just figured if they find it, they'll just hopefully follow me to the
right. Because on Shannon's question, I've had Santa Barbara Fit forever, and I mean I think I have less than 500 followers. So you know, if it all went away, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I like the name. And I just started another one for my kids and like just family thing. Mm-hmm. And I like Santa Barbara Fit, but I kind of wanted to add my name to it, like just like you did, Kelly France _. But, you know, was wondering if there's any advantage to keeping Santa Barbara Fit just because I like it or because somebody else might take it, you know?
Yeah, I would say reserve it just in case you ever change your mind.
Right.
And again, it'll redirect traffic to wherever you want it.
So
I might even start like my own little private family one because I feel like
that's what I did.
Yeah, I feel like I like to create chat books on Instagram, and I want to have one where I just can brag about my kids and
right. So, and technically, when you added Kelly France _Fit Fashionista, you didn't have to do anything to keep Fit Fashionista. It just stays there? Because I don't really understand how it works.
They're like separate accounts. So a Fit Fashionista
just still exists.
Has a different email address and a different username. A password.
Right.
So yeah, it didn't affect anything.
Okay.
You can always change your name.
Thank you very much.
So if I go in and change, because I don't want to start a new account because I already have followers, but so if I change Shannon Grella to Succeed with Shannon, what happens to, Shannon Grella, would I have to go, if I wanted to reserve that, would I be able to go create a new Shannon Grella account?
Only after you switch it. It's almost like a domain name. You know how you want to like save your domain name? Like, I want, kellyfrance.com. So you're going to have to hurry, switch your name, and then create one that says Shannon Grella.
Got it.
That's what I did so that I could like reserve it. So yeah.
I have two separate accounts. I have one that is just personal that I do pictures of my kids and my dogs, because I like the filters. It makes really cool pictures. Mm-hmm. But Christine Dwyer had a really awesome training about how to really brand yourself. And if you're going to be a brand, that only be that. So my health and fitness one is only for health and fitness stuff. And I keep, as per her suggestion, keep the continuity all the same. My email address is Beauty Fit Body. My Facebook like page is Beauty Fit Body. My Instagram is Beauty Fit Body _ Christina Clark. Then when I make friends with them and they end up over on my personal Facebook page, it's Christina Clark with the parentheses Beauty Fit Body. So there's continuity everywhere, because I have found sometimes I would make friends with people from my like page under Beauty Fit Body, and then they would come to my personal page and just see Chris Clark, and they would kind of forget who I was. And I saw like the same profile picture, and they wouldn't remember who I was until I'm like, oh, hey, you're the girl I met on my like page. And then they're, oh yeah. But if there's a good continuity on everything, then it sticks. It's going to stick more, and you have now branded yourself instead of kind of jumping all over the place. So like with Shannon, I would highly suggest you just make everything the same. Make it all the same. And then you are remembered easier.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, I can't emphasize like the branding yourself stuff. I mean, it's so important. Like for me especially, and I even remember the way Brittany introduced me on my call. She was like, she leads with her spirituality stuff. And that's very much about who I am on my Instagram. Like I'm not the religious type coach, but I'm very into like law of attraction, energy, healing, all things airy fairy. That's basically the way I class myself. And on Instagram especially, those are the hashtags I target. I don't target the moms and stuff like that. I actually target Reiki, healing, spirituality, consciousness, gratitude and all that kind of stuff, because those are the people I'm looking to connect to. So it's very important to have your brand, especially when it comes to your hashtags, because those are the people ultimately you really want to be connecting to. It'll make for a far better experience. And again, yeah, the continuity, I keep the same stuff going across the same platforms. And I've actually been doing a lot of the tips that Kelli was talking about, and my Instagram is definitely starting to pick up. I've got some coaches that have come through Instagram recently. I don't necessarily get customers. I actually kind of suck when it comes to that, but I'm actually super good at getting coaches through Instagram these days, which is cool. So definitely just, get your brand. I love that Kelli, really jumps on the idea of the fashionista. She's separating herself away from not just being the Beachbody person, which I feel is so important. And so just get wild with who you are, your other aspects, and really hone in on that rather than the actual Beachbody 21-day fix and all that kind of stuff. Those are the big mistakes that we all make in the beginning with Instagram. It's like 21-day fix, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing there's a buttload of coaches following you and stuff. And it's like, why are you all following me? Go away. So yeah, just really work on who your brand is and just use those hashtags and get happy and have a lot of fun with it. I'll stop now.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like having one other thing besides fitness to talk about is kind of like your Trojan horse. I think of like fashion as my Trojan horse of like, oh, you're a mom and you want to be fashionable and blah, blah, and then hopefully I can reel them in with my fitness stuff. So I think it's good to have other things that you're talking about, so you're not just like you're saying.
Yeah, well, that's actually how Amy Silverman does it. She said on her Best of the West call that, when you look at her page, it looks so different from any other Beachbody coach. You're like, wow. But she said, I'm not doing anything different than the people I'm following outside of Beachbody land. So she's following all these kind of like fashion pages and hippie type pages, like really, really big accounts. And she's just really recreating what they're doing. But it looks so new to us as Beachbody coaches because coaches aren't doing that. People are still kind of regurgitating the same kind of stuff, fit mom, religious mom, and all that kind of stuff. But what we need to do is really hone in on those other aspects of us that really make us who we are. And that's really why Amy Silverman, apart from being an awesome leader, is doing amazing through her social media, because she's showing something very different and she's really connecting with her audience through doing that kind of stuff. So it's really important, I think.
Amen. She's like one of my favorite people to follow because it's pretty. I love her feed. It's so pretty. And it's not spammy. It doesn't have all the words and the cheesiness, but that's my style. So everyone does it different.
Okay, coaches, we've gone an hour. Happen, right?
Well, it wouldn't be a call if I didn't have my little bit at the end.
That's why we love you here, girlfriend. Love it, love it. Kelli, is there any last thing you want to add on to everything that you spoke about today?
No, I think we had a great discussion, and just reach out to me if you have any questions. I love talking Instagram. So
absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for jumping on. Thank you, Kelli, once again for an amazing call. I hope you all took some great notes on really how to implement this, with your team and with you. So have a great day. I'll see you all in a week.
bye.
Bye, guys.